We all know about that old trope of starting a D&D adventure in a tavern. But what if you had the whole adventure take place in the tavern? Follow me, I'm going to show you how to play the tavern game. When I was a young D&D player, the most influential supplement that I got a hold of was one called the Shady Dragon Inn. It was a small little module slash supplement that basically amounted to no more than just a large gathering of non-player characters that you could insert into your game. Now, it was framed around a tavern called the Shady Dragon Inn, and the supplement actually came with a little map of the tavern, but the meat of the actual book was just a tremendous amount of non-player characters of all different races. It was the first time that I actually started to realize that the Dungeons & Dragons world that I was playing in was actually filled with more than just me and my friends. Now, the non-player characters in the book were all statted out in basic D&D format and had names, personalities, and some little tidbits about them. Now, on the surface, the book was nothing more than just a way to insert quick and easy NPCs into your game. Now, my friends and I took it in a different direction. See, up until that point, we kind of played Dungeons & Dragons in isolation. By that I meant that the only real people in the world of Dungeons & Dragons was just us, the players. It wasn't until that supplement that I realized that there were other adventures out in the worlds of D&D. There were other characters that I could interact with, more than just the henchmen that I might hire to bring on an adventure with me. But what about the actual setting itself? The Shady Dragon Inn got a little bit of treatment, but there wasn't a lot there that told us a lot about the inn. My friends and I took it in an entirely different direction, and we started framing adventures around the characters and the setting of the Shady Dragon Inn itself. We actually built an entire campaign around the Shady Dragon Inn. Rather than just using the tavern as a way to kickstart your adventure, kind of look at it as a canvas, something that can occupy the players in a lot of different ways throughout the entire adventure. Think about all the NPCs and all the personalities that might be also there at the tavern at the same time that your players are. You can actually create some really compelling stories just with the characters that are residing at the same place that your players happen to be. One of the things that I did that actually made the campaign or made the adventure a little bit more exciting was really go deep into what the other characters and what the other non-player characters are doing at the Shady Dragon Inn or at the tavern of your choice. They also have reasons for being there, not just recruiting or hanging out and drinking and eating, but they might have some more sinister and more nefarious reasons for being around there. What about the people that are coming and going from the tavern? Now, this is not to say that your players are just going to sit there all day and wait for something to happen. Build the story, but then frame it around the tavern of your choice. Think about all the surrounding area, or maybe just the town itself. If you wanted to expand outward, look at it as an urban adventure perhaps. But keep the players coming back to the tavern. In my case, the Shady Dragon Inn served as sort of a base of operations for us as we kept returning on a daily basis just to find out what was happening and get updates as to what the other characters were doing. In some cases, some of the characters in the game ended up becoming a part of the party or maybe even romantic entanglements. There was a wealth of opportunity within a tavern to tell stories, but also to add really important personalities to your adventures. Don't discount the value of a tavern beyond just eating and drinking. If you're going to play the tavern game, you're going to have to spend a lot of time setting up the cast. What I mean by that is, take some time to go through and create your supporting cast members, all the NPCs that are going to be in the tavern. Take a lot of time just developing their motivations and why they're there. Also, build in some plot hooks as to maybe why they might gravitate towards certain players versus others. Make sure the barkeep has a name, make sure the waitresses have a name. If there's a bard in the tavern, make sure he's got a name. Make sure they've got some really fleshed out backgrounds. If this is going to be your campaign setting for your adventure, put as much effort into this as you would the dungeon, the wilderness, or any other major encounters in any other type of game you're playing. If you're going to be here for the long haul, might as well make it a good place for your players to hang out at. If you're wanting to get a hold of the Shady Dragon Inn, unfortunately it's long out of print. Although, if you're very clever, you could probably scour the ends of the internet to find a copy of it. I still keep a copy of it on my desktop just as reference, and sometimes I need a little inspiration. Thanks for tuning in and letting me go for a little trip down memory lane and also give you some insight on some different settings that you can use to have your Dungeons & Dragons adventures take place in. I hope you're all having fun playing D&D out there, and we'll talk to you soon. Before you go, I need your help. I'm trying to grow the exposure of what we do here at Maverick Games. My goal is to actually bring information to parents and students for fun, academics, and even support of neurodivergency. Please subscribe and make sure you click on those notifications. I don't do paid ads or sponsorships. I hope that you can find content here that's enjoyable for yourself and maybe others. Thank you very much, and thanks for tuning in.